I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Kamen Riders. I'm your host, Josh Meek, the Uber Geek, joined, as always, by my good friend, Toby Tobes. What's up, Toby?
Josh, I was thinking about it. Why didn't you name the podcast Just Josh and Ya?
Just joshing ya. Just joshing around. I don't know. I've always hated that. At some point in my life, all my friends realized that joshing ya is a funny thing to say to me, and that, Toby, is when I cut them out of my life. So congratulations. This is the final episode of the Kamen Riders.
I killed it right before Geats died.
No, yeah, that's just one of those things, you know, like you get saddled with your whole life when your name is Josh. It's just like, are you just joshing around? Well, he's just joshing me.
He's a real jokester. He's a real kidder of a guy.
I can only imagine it's like people, you know, named Harry getting "you're a wizard" said to them, or, you know, people named Richard getting dick jokes. It's you know, we all have our crosses to bear, I guess. But most importantly, Toby, I didn't name it that because it's not a reference to Kamen Rider.
It could have worked that in, I feel like.
You think so?
Or you know what? We could have just did a completely different thing and did like a female Japanese wrestler podcast. Because aren't they called like Joshis?
Yeah.
Or Josh? Yeah. Just Joshi and ya.
Okay. See, now we're on to something. We're going to have to take this
Let's spin
discussion
this
offline.
off. Let's spin this off.
The copyright. No one steal that idea.
You said it first. It's recorded.
We will be the only Japanese women's wrestling podcast hosted by someone named Josh. Don't fact check that. That might not be true. Yeah, that could work. I did for a while watch Stardom, which is one of the Japanese women's promotions, which was quite good. So I could watch it again. And we could do a podcast about it.
This podcast is enough. I'm already too deeply entrenched in too many things from you at this point. I can't do a whole nother like genre of things.
I like that it's specifically from me. Like, I have too much shit from you.
Yeah.
I need to not do any more Josh things right now.
This is specifically all your fault.
Yeah, you're in luck because I have literally zero time left.
Yay.
Yeah. That's we're not going to be adding any more podcasts, I don't think. Certainly not ones that aren't finished when we click end on the recording.
What we should do is start a whole comment Rider network, and then someone else can run the just Joshi and with you show.
Yep.
And it'll be like it'll be like an irony or something because their name
good.
won't be Josh. It'll be owned by Josh because Josh didn't want to do it.
That's good. That is good. I did start a podcast network one time in my lifetime. Did you know that?
I feel like I vaguely did. But share with the class, as the people say.
There's really not much to it. It was we had a podcast and we wanted to do more podcasts. So we're like, well, that makes sense. We'll do a podcast network. And then we had multiple podcasts on it that just were all going out. It was a real humdinger of an operation for a while. And then, you know, ended as all podcasts do.
As all good things do, it came to an end.
Because there's a thing inside of me, Toby, which is when I launch into a project or when I do something, I ramp it up to fill up my entire life. and then it is at its maximum capacity, and I do that until I burn out on the thing. Like, you know, when I was doing a daily like 5-minute like pop culture news podcast, and then I decided, you know what would be better if I made this a video show and I recorded an actual like video episode every single day, edited it every single day in my life, and then it was just like 3 hours every night where I'm just shooting a fucking TV show. Yeah, I have a deep sickness inside of me, which makes things larger and larger and larger.
I want to point out that in case anyone missed it, Josh said he's going to run this into the ground when he burns himself out. So don't expect too many more seasons, I guess.
No, I very specifically have designed everything we're doing here around like sustainability.
we went green, as the people say.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about that a lot too, especially with like the Patreon starting. We're just like, we have to make sure that this is something we can keep doing, and is something that we're not going to like burn out on after a while. So yes, all of it is around like, this sounds super fun, but is it going to sound super fun 47 weeks in? So far, yes, it is.
This show has stayed more fun than the other show.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I tend to do that with my hobbies of just like adding more and more and more on top of them until it just consumes my entire free time, and it's a ridiculous feat.
I think I have myself at a level now, with everything I'm doing with you and my own channel,
Yep.
and then the secret side channel, that I think I have my free time maxed out to the point where I would be pushing if I went any farther, with like friends and family and everything else in my life, where I'm like, I probably shouldn't say no to any more things. This is probably enough stuff going on right now.
You mean you shouldn't say yes to any more things?
No, like I shouldn't say no to them anymore. Like I shouldn't do more
Oh.
things that just I want to do, so
Got
that
it.
I can do things with other people.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, your family should see you at some point. My
guess.
big problem, is like my video games should see me at some point. Like my other hobbies need a chance to to get in there.
Let me tell you about not sleeping, or sleeping very little. It works wonders for the amount of free time that you have.
You know that scene in the Avengers where like
No,
the
so
Hulk,
I didn't watch any of those movies.
all right, where there's a scene where the Hulk says like, "That's my secret. I'm always angry. That's me, except that's my secret. I'm always sleepy." I am the king of giving up sleep time so that I can do my hobbies.
Okay, good. Because like,
especially as a father, you put the kid to bed and then it's like, now I've got solid hours of free time. Hell yeah, I'm not gonna go to sleep until 1 a.m, and then the kid still wakes up at 7.
so I do the opposite of that. I go to bed real early, like other than recording nights. I go to bed real early, like an old man. And then if I accidentally wake up at 4, I don't care. And then from like 4 to 7 or 8, when work starts and the dog wakes up and the house gets crazy, I have all the peace and quiet I want. So I build some Legos, I play some video games, I sit and do nothing. It's wonderful.
Oh wow, so you're the early morning guy. I didn't realize that about you.
Yeah, I'm getting old. My sleep schedule has rotated properly as I age.
See, I've thought about becoming that person. But yeah, I don't have the I don't have the fortitude, I guess. Like because here's what I would do, because I have like a 20-year sleep backlog that I'm I've built up. I would go to bed at like 9, and then I would wake up at like 4, but then I wouldn't have the willpower to get out of bed at 4, and I would just still lay there until like 8 a.m. So I would just be a person who sleeps 12 hours a night. That's what it would become.
So because of my brain is so hyper, I guess we'll call it. Like, it's why I have horrible anxiety in life and everything else. That the moment I wake up, if I don't instantly fall back asleep, my brain starts going too fast as soon as I wake up. And I literally can't lay in bed because it's too quiet, and just all the bad thoughts usually and everything else start going through my head. So I need to get up and go do something.
Okay.
So it makes it easier for me.
Nice. Then you go do not
Then I go
nice,
build some
obviously.
Legos.
Obviously that sucks very much, but that does force you out of bed, I guess.
Yeah. It's like a natural alarm clock.
I guess so.
That and energy drinks.
Yeah. I have that. It's called a child.
There you go.
That's my natural alarm clock. Toby, speaking of hobbies that we don't have time for, let's do some emails.
You
were very excited about Lorcana, Disney Lorcana coming out, which is it's
almost here. Like the official, the official normal people release date, not the people that snuck in line and got in fights in the pre-release and everything else. It's almost here.
So that's what I wanted to talk about, was the fervor around Lorcana, just to catch everyone up, since we touched on it in the past. So yes, we at Gen Con was the like official release ish where you could buy product. Where there
Lorcana is the Disney Magic the Gathering game, by the way.
Yes, yeah, it is the Disney trading card game that is coming out, that people are very hyped for. Gen Con is a big like board and card game convention. And normally, like, Gen Con is like there's a ton of people, but like the doors opening at Gen Con, people are pretty chill, and there's not really a line. It's just sort of a mass of people. And you just kind of all walk in. It's fine. But I guess because Lorcana, people were like rushing. A wheelchair got knocked over, pushing it in.
We'll call them Disney adults. They're not
Disney
necessarily
adults.
people. They're Disney adults that got a little crazy.
Yeah, so the Disney adults ruined Gen Con because of Lorcana. And now this week, the actual like the in-store launch is Friday. So the stores around me are like posting their like plans for events and stuff. And they're all getting so little product and there's so much like demand for it that they're charging like more than double MSRP.
Perfect.
So there's one store near me, which is generally like a pretty good store. So like I trust that, like I trust the price that they're charging isn't just gouging, but it's because they got so little product. But they're starting a Disney Lorcana League where you play every week in their store. It's $50 to start. You get one starter deck and 2 booster packs. So an insane amount of money for that little product.
Okay.
And then each week, if you would like to add 2 more booster packs to your deck, mind you, a booster pack is normally $3.99. It will be $25 more every single week.
All right, so I guess I'm gonna have to focus on the Gotchard cards officially, and maybe wait until this game flops or something, or what the hell's gonna happen here.
I think that'll resolve itself pretty quickly because I think so. The game is going to release in like big box stores like Walmart and stuff in September. So they got to be printing the crap out of this game. So I think the prices will come down really fast, very, very quickly. But like the initial, again, Disney adult fervor is blowing the prices up like crazy, and it is madness. But I think you've also missed the boat on the Gotchard cards because those also sold out pretty instantly too.
So I guess I'll be collecting nothing. I can focus on my Pokemon cards as they creep into our lives, and
you're already collecting Pokemon cards. What more do you need?
Anything else? A little bit more to fill the void.
Just a little bit to fill that 4 a.m. on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's your Disney Lorcana minute. Thank you for joining us. And Joey, yes, we do have an email. Let's jump over to our email. The email this week comes in from Shade. And Shade says, because of all the hype around Gotchard, I forgot you guys started Xaid. Hey guys, really excited that you are starting a new Rider series. Wish I can check them out, but I'll support how I can. Also, could you update on which episode you're on in case of spoilers and such in my trivias? So yes, Shade, we are, we just finished recording what was it called?
The greatest movie of all time, Dr. Pac-Man versus Legends and Ghosts and everything else.
Yeah, Dr. Pac-Man versus Ghost and Xaid and Legend Riders. We just watched that movie. Chronologically, that comes after episode 10 of Xaid. And then, yeah, we will be recording some more of that tonight. So we are in around about the like 10 to 12 range in episodes. As far as
by the time you hear this, just assume we're at 12.
Yeah,
that'd be a safe number to put us at.
Yep. So yeah, we are burning through Xaid at a pretty fair clip here. Shade says, anyways, Xaid is a thick season to go through. It's at the start of TTFC being a thing and people really liking it. Plus the actors love doing it. So
Xaid,
yep.
TTFC.
Yep. Oh, that is the Toei Tokusatsu fan club, that streaming service where they do little miniseries and stuff. So Xaid has so much content. If you want, I can make a comprehensive guide on all the series, movies, and specials. That's very kind of you, Shade. We actually found a Google Doc that is like every series in chronological order with all their movies and all their extra stuff put together, like from the beginning of Kamen Rider, which is. It felt like finding the Holy Grail.
It's like 50 years of Kamen Riders all put together.
Yeah, because like that's the thing I explained in our Discord. Like I'd been doing kind of like by hand to see like how everything fit together with Xaid, and it's a nightmare to try to dig through like the Kamen Rider wiki and figure out where movies fit in and stuff like that. Because it's not when they were released, it's like chronologically where they fit in and stuff. But yeah, we found this document, which is wonderful to have now. So I have the Kamen Rider Bible in hand for this and for future seasons. Shade says, now to some other stuff. To answer some of your questions in the last videos. If Keiwa was always meant to use the Bujin sword buckle, does that mean he's always meant to go bad? Well, not exactly. While the toys are designed that way, it ultimately comes down to the writer's decision to go with that direction or not. They could just write around that or just have his power-up delivered to his doorstep with no explanations. This legit happened in Kamen Rider, by the way. I like that idea. It just shows up on the doorstep, just like it's like the Stark delivered it. don't
I'd be
ask questions.
excited.
Here's,
Here's a nice present. You know what this vaguely works, or what this vaguely does. Just plug it into your computer, see what happens.
Exactly. It's like when you get a scary flash drive you find in the woods. You plug it into the computer. That's what happens.
You gotta know what's on there. It could be anything.
Could be anything. Last time you guys also talked about Kamen Rider Amazons. It was a reboot of the 4th Kamen Rider season, Kamen Rider Amazon. Kamen Rider Amazon was a very different show, even by back then standards. The reason why the reboot was a mature, bloody show was because the original was also gory in its own way.
Yeah.
So basically, the character of Amazon is very similar to Tarzan. TLDR, dude lived in the Amazons with Incans, came to Japan to fight evil. And because of his wild nature, Amazon also fights like a wild monkey. In the series, he would bite, scratch, and even cut off his opponent's limbs, resulting in some scenes to be pretty gory. By
This guy sounds awesome.
So Shade links a video of some of the like craziest fights, and yeah, it is just full on like Amazon fighting a guy who looks like a bug and just ripping the bug's arms off and throwing them through the air. It's pretty great. There was one, it was a monster that had a bunch of faces all over his body, and Kamen Rider Amazon has like kind of sharp things out of his forearms, and he was just stabbing the faces with his sharp forearms. Like each face he would go to and just stab it with his forearm.
It's like a good video game boss fight.
Pretty much, yeah. It's pretty great. And the way they shoot it too is like super up close on the gore. So it's like you just see like arms and limbs flailing everywhere. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Shane says, because of the amount of violence and allegedly because Amazon is always half naked like Tarzan, the series was canceled with only 24 episodes and is to this day the shortest Rider series.
That's a good one to watch for sure then.
Yeah, only 24. Though, fun fact, the Kamen Rider Amazons reboot was originally pitched as a joke because Kamen Rider Amazon on Amazon Prime, but the execs thought it was a good idea, so they went with it. That's how more shows should get greenlit. I mean, like, man, this would be a gas if we did this. I was like, or would it? Just let's roll with the funny thing.
Yeah, let's see how this goes.
And then also Shay tells us that Kamen Rider Gotchard's suit actor is going to be Eitoku. We've talked about Eitoku in the past. Shade says if you don't remember, Eitoku is Tycoon's suit actor, and there's an ongoing joke that he never gets to be main rider until now.
He did it.
They had their special announcement, revealed that Eitoku gets to be a main rider, and then Shade linked the joke where that came from. So it's from a thing called a net movie, which is in a short 8-minute online video that's just the actors and the behind the scenes people making comedy sketches relating to Kamen Rider. But it's like people in the Kamen Rider suits, but like they're themselves, they're the suit actors, but the sketch is in this one that Eitoku, who is just dressed like a regular person, is so sad and so distraught about not being a main rider that he murders the other suit actors so that he is able to become the main rider.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
That's how Tanya Harding defeated Nancy Kerrigan almost in the 92 Winter Olympics.
That's true. If she had just had the determination of Eitoku, maybe she would have gotten there. But after the string of murders, Eitoku finally has made it, and he gets to be main boy finally.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah,
I'm very happy for our friend.
So Shade, thanks for the info as always, and thank you for the email. If you out there in podcast land would like to send us an email, you can do that as well. Send those over to cast@kamenridersucks.com. Toby, that brings us to the next portion of our episode, which is the biggest, most important portion, which is the discussion of Kamen Rider Geats episode 47.
Oh my God. I never thought it would get here.
What happened in episode 46? Where are we at? What is going on in this series?
All the evils are slowly dying, as well as all the evils are slowly getting more powerful. Geats is slowly losing his powers, while Geats is slowly gaining more powers.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then people die and then they come back to life. So a lot of the duality of the Kamen Riding is truly in full effect right now.
Sometimes you Kamen Ride up, sometimes you Kamen Ride down. Who came back from life? Who came back to life at the end of our last episode? Who was the shining return?
Was that one Sarah? I
That's
thought there's been so
Sarah.
many. There's been a bunch.
One and only Sarah is back from the dead. And this episode opens with Buffa apologizing to Sarah, what for her murder and all.
And he's a very sad boy. And of course, this is probably the end of the Buffa growth arc, as he's now become a real boy and has feelings and emotions.
Yep, he's full on friends with Sarah now. Sarah calls him Buffalo-san, which I really liked. And yeah, basically her and Kawa give the no hard feelings, bro speech. And they're
no hard feelings. No, I tried to kill you, but you know what? She's back now, so we'll let it go.
You worked hard at this. So they sit down, they're talking. We see in the green room that Punk, Jack, and Neon are also talking and discussing. Basically, the consensus for these two conversations is we're a little worried about Ace because he, is becoming a statue. Our boy's becoming a statue.
He's reaching full creation king.
Exactly. He is going to become the creepy grasshopper sitting alone in the dark room.
That'd be the ultimate crossover. Because I like doing those stupid things. If this could end with him as a giant creepy grasshopper that shoots blue go, would really be the best ending.
That'd be perfect. Kawa walks in to see Ace, and Ace is just like, "Drink my heaven.
You'll live forever."
Kawa, you want to live forever? I don't know why, but that's what I always thought he sounded like. Like I never talked to him. He always just sounded like he'd be like, "Arr." And then, of course, we get the beginning of kind of the main plot of this episode, which is dealing with Kekara. Kekara is talking to Dark Sumi, and he wishes basically for Tycoon to die. That's what he wants his wish to be. And so Dark Sumi begins to grant it. And part of this wish is basically that all the other Kamen Riders disappear in the world. So like Buffa turns into a stuffed animal. Neon
a stuffed
turns
buffalo. They all turn into their gotta be specific with this one.
Yeah, so he turns into a stuffed buffalo. Neon turns into like a ceramic cat, like one of those like little like those little Japanese cat ceramic pot things.
It's a luck. It's the luck cat. There's probably a name for it, but it's definitely like, or they always say like the lucky kitties, like the one paws up that waves and usually moves when they're automated.
Punk Jack, of course, turns into a pumpkin.
Which was the best one. That was the best one.
So they're of course out of commission for this episode, and Kekara basically confronts Kawa. He wants to prove that Kawa can't save the world on his own. That's kind of the I guess the premise here with Kekara, and he's about to kind of wipe out Kekara and Sarah because they confronted them in the little restaurant here, but Daiichi shows up, and Daiichi busts out the new phrase that we learned this week, which is frogification. I was not aware of this before this episode, but apparently frogification is when a fan of something turns on that thing or that person because of like a small little detail, like something irked them on a very small level, but because of that, they like completely turn their back on the thing that they were a fan of. So it's a great pun because Kekara is a frog and he is committing frogification on Kawa. I thought that was pretty great.
Yeah, like so at first I thought it was more specific a joke to this, like directly of just like haha he's a frog, but it being a real life overall thing makes it actually that much better.
Yeah, it's like it makes sense why they used it because it's too good to not say. Yeah. But Daiichi comes out, says that Kekara is committing frogification, and shockingly Daiichi defends Kawa and Sarah. He goes into full-on monster mode and fights Kekara, allowing Kawa and Sarah to escape.
Mainly because he worked so hard to get her back. He was like, I'm not letting you kill her again. I gave too much. My poor tree. I can't lose the tree again.
He loves that tree, and he loves the people who came from that tree, I guess. So after Kawa and Sarah escape, Daiichi and Kawa have a little heart-to-heart. They're kind of hiding in some alleyway. And basically, Daiichi, we come to find out, he's kind of interested / jealous of Keiwa's like boring happy life. So he just
as we all would be.
yeah, exactly. He just wants them to continue to be boring and happy together, and he thinks maybe that is actually the secret to true happiness, and he would like to observe them more.
So it's one of those things where some people have bad social skills to the point where like you say things that you don't mean, but the
Yeah.
thought process behind them it's nice and well thought out. And it's just one of those moments where like he doesn't mean they sound creepy as hell, and I want to observe you and your sister hanging out together. But we worded it a little poorly.
He's certainly he is a weird boy still. He's approaching it from a slightly less murdersome angle now, but he still continues to be a weird boy. But I think Keiwa decides to forgive him here and assume that everything's okay. At some point, Daiichi is like surprised that Keiwa is forgiving him. He's like, "I've done horrible things." Keiwa's like, "So have I."
Have you not seen my past couple episodes? I was a terror for a little bit there.
Yeah, I had a whole arc where I was a villain. Did you see that? It was cool. I was all black.
I ran a gang. I ran a gang.
I ran a gang. I like that Keiwa is just full on accepting of the like formerly evil characters now, because he had 2 episodes where he was evil. He's like,
it definitely
yeah,
helps.
man,
It's definitely helping his cause. That's for sure.
Yeah, certainly. After the little heart-to-heart, Kekara does a live broadcast, which continues to be a theme here of people being like, excuse me, world, big things are about to happen. Everyone pay attention to me. So Kekara does his own, basically explains that there's a Keiwa Kamen Rider game, and he has chained up some people. He's got like he's got 3 people, one being a little kid, chained up, and there are some Giamato about to be released. And he tells Keiwa basically he's got to get through Kekara and save those people, get them free before the Giamato can kind of swarm them.
It's like a good Saw game.
Yeah, it is. He's created like the tamest Saw game ever.
I'm just gonna lock people in here. Well, no, because either Keiwa does the good guy thing, or the Giamato is gonna eat the people in the chains.
You know, like the end result could be pretty gruesome for sure, but like tame in the sense that like you knew it was never going to get to that point, I guess. And yes, of course, because of the live broadcast, like we're showing this to seemingly the world, at least Japan, or but like people are watching, so people are over the course of the episode like becoming aware of what a Kamen Rider is and who Keiwa is. So we'll come back to that in a little bit, but
that's the funniest part too, for like how hard they worked.
Yeah.
Or how much dumb shit has revolved around like, we don't want people remembering things. We're going to make people forget things. We're going to do this. And now it's just like, hey, world, here's a big broadcast about how this shit works.
That's what's so funny. Like, it's this big secret thing. And then now everyone who has like an episode focus, the very first thing they do is like, hop on the broadcast, play me on the outside of the building. I'm going to tell the world the evil's here. It's great. In the midst of this fight, as a means of kind of taunting Keiwa, Kekara tosses a blank DGP wish card kind of down in front of Keiwa. Essentially, he's like telling him like, you need to wish for their safety because you can't make it on your own. You can't handle this on your own. So you need to basically spend someone else's happiness, cost someone else some happiness, so that you can save these people. Basically, show you're a hypocrite. It's kind of what Kekara is doing. Which I thought was
I took it as like a
cool
mix
thing.
of that, and also since they're all aware of how it works, it just seems like they want to. The more wishes they can burn, the more they kill Geats on the back end.
That too, yeah, for sure. That too, 100%. So I loved all of that. Yeah, like that could have just been like a fight up to that point, but I love that he had this extra like knife twisty thing that he could do to Keiwa and just throws this in his face. Kekara turns out to be a real jerk, of course, as we know. Keiwa refuses, of course, to sign the card, but the Giamato finally get free, get up to the people, but they don't hurt them. They just break the chains. Turns out Daiichi cultivated these Giamato, so he's able to control them. And
that was
Kayla,
one of the best swerves, or at least like one of the better swerves in this episode.
it was hilarious. Yeah.
Because when they all broke out of the chains and they kind of like were like, oh, we're free. I was expecting someone else like warped in the room somehow. I didn't actually expect it was Pidgey going full hero and going, well, yeah, they're my friends, so I just told him to stop it.
I love that he's gone full hero, but like in his own creepy way. Like he still can transform into a Geomato form. He's just using that for good now, and he can still control all the Geomato. He's just deciding to tell them to not kill people now. And then when he tries to be a normal guy, he's like, "I just want to watch you and your sister be bored."
Yeah, he goes back to the creepy.
So, as much as I hate Daiichi, I love this angle of him, just like randomly a good guy, but like still the most terrifying person that could be. So yeah, it turns out that Keiwa and Daiichi had planned this whole ruse. Those little scamps.
He geets them.
Oh, they geetsed him so hard. And Keiwa says, "You don't have to be a Kamen Rider to save the world." And I'm sure Daiichi was very excited to hear that.
I still have a chance.
And then Kekara and Keiwa battle some more. I thought their fight was pretty good, especially compared to the like lack of a Baroba fight that we got last time. Like I liked what they did with the giant Baroba stuff, but with giant Baroba, you can't really do too much of a fight, really, that can't last super long. So this we got, regular sized Kekara and Keiwa. They had a good little battle. Eventually Keiwa, who he'd been in his ninja form up until now, he has a moment basically like I get to decide who I am kind of a moment, and he uses the Bujin sword buckle again. He turns into like the black form, which I thought was cool, getting to see him become the like Bujin sword version of himself, but like as a good guy. It was cool that he gets to still use that power.
So it's funny you mentioned that, Josh. There's this media that's out there. It's called Kingdom Hearts. One of the one of the main characters, Riku, has a darkness that lives inside of him because he was taken over by Xehanort very early in the game series. And a lot of his character arc is learning how to have the darkness inside him, but not give in to the darkness. And I got very strong Riku vibes from this moment.
Man who has only seen Boss Baby watching another movie. I'm getting strong Boss Baby vibes from this one. No, that seems like a good correlation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Keiwa learned how to use the Riku vibes with inside of him. Keiwa called on his Dark Goofy. And
that's not how it works. You're ruining the game.
If I was in Kingdom Hearts, I would want Dark Goofy to be my summon. That's what I would want. I want to have a giant dragon that's actually Goofy to show up.
Like Maleficent, just Goofy.
Is that a Disney thing?
Maleficent?
Yeah.
The evil Cinderella lady that turns into a dragon?
I knew it was a Disney thing.
It might not even be Cinderella. It might be... Wait, it's not Snow White. It might be Sleeping Beauty. It's one of them.
Okay, whatever.
But I'm going to say Sleeping Beauty. I think I fucked that up. But anyway, Maleficent's a dragon.
You made a real fool of yourself here.
Yes, now I finally did it. I got too excited, and now here we are.
Excited. Didn't know who Maleficent was, just like me. I thought it was pretty cool that Keiwa, before Kekra dies, Keiwa was like, "Hey, thanks for making me a Kamen Rider."
Yeah, that scene, or like that vibe of that scene, though. In spite of all the crappy Keiwa-ing, I do find it hilarious that the whole conversation was basically, all I ever wanted was world peace. I thought wishing for it was the answer, but instead, you asshole frog gave me the power to actually like help defend world peace instead.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and that's a neater bow on Keiwa's story than I thought we would get. Honestly, like that is a very cool. Like, yeah, at the beginning, he was a pacifist and he thought, like raising his fist in anger on anything was the wrong thing. And now he realizes that like he can actually defend and work towards bringing about world peace on his own. And like sometimes it requires action on his part.
He can be more of a hero than just saying, like, why help the kids? Like, why be like a big brother to those kids that he cooked for in that little orphanage place? Instead, he can go stab monsters as a armored tycoon.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a nice little bow there on Keiwa, and good fitting end on Kekara. We also got some good frog poses in this episode too, which I appreciated.
Everyone loves a good frog pose.
Yep. So Kekara again sees his end and gets wiped out there. Meanwhile, while this fight is happening, we get kind of a little like side confrontation. So Jito goes to visit Ace, and Jito this episode has a different buckle than he had before, which is suspicious. But when he goes to see Ace, basically because of the power of everyone just cheering Keiwa on and all the good stuff that's going on, Ace just breaks free of his shackles and turns completely back to normal.
Just like the intro again. Does that mean I can still have my gun scene? There's 2 more episodes left.
Exactly. So I'm going to start the Geats stick with one concept for more than one episode challenge because, boy, I don't know why we bothered to do this whole he's turning into a statue thing if we're instantly going to change it here. But nonetheless, Ace is back.
We kind of joked about it at the end of last week. We were trying to figure out the timing of what the plot points were in these last couple episodes. We did not guess that Frogman dying and Geats destatuing immediately were going to be the same episode. They definitely burnt one of the wishes.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't believe that Geats is out already. Like it doesn't make much sense. I'm happy that he can like move about because it was going to be kind of lame if we didn't really get any more Geats until like the very end. So I'm happy that we get like actual Geats being involved in things now. But it's a weird choice to be like an episode of like, oh my god, I'm so worried about Ace. Never mind, he's all good.
He's the hero. He can't be off the show too long.
Exactly. Yeah. You get 3/4 of an episode where Keiwa is the main character here, and then after that, nope, no more. Never again. So Ace, of course, breaks free, as I said. He henshins, and so does Jito. So Jito henshins into Kamen Rider Regad, I believe, is how
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, we're gonna pronounce that Kamen Rider Regad.
It was a cool costume. It was the coolest of the boss-ish costumes, I think.
Yeah, it's red and kind of goldish. It's kind of bulky. I like the look of it for sure. It's a little unique compared to some of the other like Game Master costumes we've seen so far. But the Ace and Jito fight again was very, very cool. A lot of like slow motion, fast motion stuff going on. Really showed off, I think, the power of both the guys. But eventually, Geats overpowers Jito, knocks him down enough that Jito has to dehenshin. But then we get our big twist here. Jito dehenshins and says basically his existence doesn't matter. And he kind of gets reformed back into Sweru, the kind of overarching head boss of the DGP. And Sweru...
When do you think the last time we actually saw him was? Because other than the first couple episodes, I can't pinpoint the last time we actually saw him.
Well, we saw him in the big like the first when we felt like the show ended the first time, and then then Ace rebuilt the world. That was the last time I think we saw.
So that was like 6 episodes ago, maybe
at least, yeah.
Okay,
which is good. Like I like that they left him out for that long and like had introduced this whole Jito character, and you thought the show was going a different direction. Like if we're gonna circle back around to Sweru, I think that's a cool way to do it. Of like the big swerve of like it was me all along, Austin. I think is kind of cool. Because he explains like Jito was like a right hand manifestation that he created, just literally just a creation of himself. Because if you recall, Sweru is like see through, like he's like
me in human form.
Exactly. So he could just create this person. So somehow I don't really understand how it happens, but Ace like gets away from Sweru at that point and goes to like fist bump Keiwa. But then Sweru once again broadcasts out to everyone in the world, because I guess that's what you do now, to tell the entire world that the final DGP is starting.
I'm so excited that we once again have another DGP in this series, because I think this is the 7th one.
That sounds right, yeah.
And we literally only finished one of them for real. And that was the first one when the show started to let us know it was actually a thing.
Yep. So this one is a full-on actual DGP. It sounds like, because Dark Sumi is delivering drivers and condolences to random people.
Yeah, like
She's
those scenes were great because instead, like, because she says like, I think it's, I deeply regret to inform you, you are now a Kamen Rider.
great. Yeah, I love everything about the Dark Sumi character, because she isn't like malevolent. Like she's not like a bad Janet, if you remember from The Good Place, which is what you would expect, where she's just the complete opposite of Sumi. She's just like sad about bad things that are happening, kind of, and then she like grants bad wishes, but like she still is mostly just Sumi. um, but anyway, yeah, deeply regrets to inform these regular people that they're becoming Kamen Riders. And it does seem like regular people. Like it wasn't anyone I recognized. It seemed like just people out of regular walks of life.
I mean,
And
that's what Neon and KOL were before this started.
yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, we're going back to that. We're not bringing in the people that have been in the DGPs in the past. Like, yeah. So interesting. And then of course we get the final little scene. Sweru, after he's talking about his broadcast and the final DGP, he henshins as well, and he henshins into basically a beefed up form of Regad. So Regad Omega. So it's the same costume we saw on Jito, but like they expand parts of it, and especially the helmet. They add an eyeball kind of right in the middle, which
What?
is wild.
Well, I guess we'll call it an eyeball, but
Like,
it's the camera eyes from all
yeah,
the viewers.
yeah, like they like embed one right in the center, and like it expands in a weird way to like accept it. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the like Ghost Driver that we actually just watched.
That's fair. I can see
Yeah,
that.
because it's like a weird eyeball that like slots in. But again, like you said, I think one of the coolest suits we've seen this season is the Regad Omega suit, and I think very befitting of a final boss. And I'm assuming there's not going to be like one bigger person past Swearer. I'm assuming this is it. He's the big boss. This is what we have to deal with. And yeah, we got 2 more episodes, I guess. 2 more episodes to finish up the DGP.
So, assuming that they're actually playing a game again, are they actually going to end this show on just a stupid DGP where they play like Kick the Can and Capture the Flag and everything else? Or is this going to be some bullshit one like the past couple have been, where it's just special rules like, hey, fight each other?
Yeah, I don't think they'll do games. I don't think they can. I don't think they could possibly reel things back to where it's like kick the can again.
I hope they play Kick the Can again. I hope they go all the way back to the beginning and they do basketball again and Kick the Can, and then the Capture the Pirate Flags was a good one.
I think at most it's going to be last man standing, like murder everyone battle royale. I don't know, but I guess he did just call it a DGP and didn't call it a battle royale or anything. So maybe they are gonna play kick the can. That would be the most hilarious ending. Just like completely tame, just playing these games, voting people out. Last man standing wins. There's really no conflict.
See, I think they should. I think at this point, the true ending is the last couple minutes of the last episode is they're doing a normal DGP again, but they change the stakes where it's a fun thing like the original design was supposed to be. And it's like a happy game where people just play and have fun, and you don't worry about if you lose because you're not wishing for people's deaths and horrible wishes and whatever. But I think I think the ending has to be. I can't imagine the ending being no more games. So I'm going to say the only alternative to that is only happy games or no bad end games.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see. The show is good at swerving us, but who knows? Who do you think's gonna win this game if we have a winner?
All of them.
Everybody wins all at the same time.
Yes, because there's not going to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to say everybody, only in the sense that since Kawa knows that he has to work to defend world peace for people, and he can't just wish for it. I feel like he has to stay a Kamen Rider for that mindset to continue going forward.
But he did say you don't have to be a Kamen Rider to save the world.
I don't know.
So he does know that.
So he's gonna go back to the orphanage and cook for the kids.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because he told Kekara, you gave me the tool to
Yeah.
defend world peace.
That's true. Yeah, he's got some conflicting statements out there in terms of what I think the show might do with him. I'm certainly very excited to find out. Yeah, like I said, 2 more episodes and then the show is done. And again, yeah, no idea how they're gonna wrap this up in a neat little bow. But I'm excited to find out.
I
And
feel like the
hopefully,
ending is gonna be stupid but good and make sense at the same time.
yeah, I think like the ending to anything where you've invested this much time into it, it's going to be a little disappointing. I mean, it's not just that you've watched 47 episodes, it's that you've watched 47 episodes and then you've recorded an hour podcast about each of them. So there's
like when final credits hit, I feel like I'm like my actual response is going to be I'm gonna sigh and go, yeah, I guess this worked.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be for sure.
See, I got you. Now everyone's thinking. Everyone's just it's gonna be like the polite like head shake, like, oh man, all right, yeah, okay, this is an ending. Yeah, okay, everyone's happy, fine.
But then we only have a mere 7 days to wait until Gotchard starts, and we get to begin this all anew.
Like I was talking about that with others earlier. It's crazy that like any other series of TV show you would watch, I can't think of any actual series where the literal next season starts effectively the day after the season before ends.
Yeah.
And I guess obviously it's a different genre where it's not like it's like Geats season 2 starts the week after Geats season 1. But it's just crazy that like they've truly made some sort of eternal media here where it just never stops. It's just the weirdest thing.
It's like a soap opera, right? It's like a soap opera like Days of Our Lives or whatever. It's like they've aired a weekly episode for every week of every year for how many years, and it never stops, and they never take breaks, and like it's that.
Yeah.
And a soap opera works because like, they'll have storylines that fade in and out, so one character isn't on every single episode and they get to go take breaks and stuff, and this works the same way with the series changing every year. But yeah, it is wild that it is just never ending eternal media, week in, week out. It just never stops.
And since you made specifically the Days of Our Lives comment, Days of Our Lives started in 1965.
Mm-hmm.
There is 58 seasons right now. So 58 plus 65 is, we guess, to 1965 plus 58. It's just 2023, right?
I don't know. It's a lot of math you're asking me to do right now.
5 and 6 and 11. Yeah. Okay. So they literally did a season. We'll call it effectively a season a year. Every year for 58 years.
Just like Kamen Rider. Actually, Kamen Rider's but not been going that long, but
yeah. And looking now, since I'm a pro because it's Wikipedia, every episode 60 minutes, which is 3 times the amount of what Kamen Rider is doing. And so they're on episode 237 as of today. So it literally has to be like it's every day. Like it's really just every day.
Of episode 237 of what? Of this season, you're saying?
Yeah, season 58, episode 237 is the one that comes out tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
As of this recording, it comes out tomorw.
That's right, yeah, because they're daily episodes of the week instead of weekly. I forgot. yeah, which is even more insane. I don't know if you've watched an episode of Days of Our Lives though. There's a lot of filler in those. There's a lot of just like staring at other characters. Like that's a light 60 minutes. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of like
only on sick
drinking
days when I was in middle school and at my grand's house when all the game shows stopped. The sands would tick down.
Yeah,
and those whatever were the days of my life.
Yeah, like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
You know too much.
My mom and my grandma used to both watch that show. So weirdly, as a young child, I watched a lot of Days of Our Lives because it was just always on at both houses I was ever at.
I think it's funny that everyone would like. There's like 4 or 5 super long running ones, and some of my stuff by now. I don't fucking know at this point. It was always crazy that people had hardcore specific ones that they would stand for. Like there's people that like love Days of Our Lives and would be
Yeah.
like, fuck the other shows. Like what, I don't know what their ones are, but they'd be like, their show's stupid. And it's like, no, they're pretty much probably all the same show.
Yeah, they're all
Like
the same.
someone's sleeping with somebody and, oh my God, it's not really his daughter. It's his twin.
It was a thing that would get passed down through families too. Like my mom watched it because her mom watched it. So like she was into Days of Our Lives as the soap opera of choice because her mom was into Days of Our Lives as the soap opera of choice. So it was like this weird ingrained like generational thing. But I think people liked one more than the others because they like, it's kind of like the console wars and why people are like, Xbox fanboys and stuff. Cause like you put down your hard earned money, you bought the Xbox console, and you have to justify that you're making the right decision with every single purchase and with every single day. You got to make sure you did the right thing. And all those people that bought Sony's are idiots. Like you spent countless hours of your life watching Days of Our Lives. Those people watching The Brave and the Bold are fucking stupid.
There you go. That's another good one. Thank you.
They're doing the wrong thing. Can't believe those morons are tuning into The Brave and the Bold. We're over here watching Days of Our Lives. They don't have sands and hourglasses. I think that's what it is.
So
thinking about it, of the day.
Thinking about it now. So we'll call it 60 years. We'll round up because they just signed on for 60 seasons. So 60 years. That means there are still people alive right now that were probably a teenager when they started watching the first season, probably with one of their parents or their grandparents. And they literally could have watched 60 seasons of Days of Our Lives daily for 60 years. That's wild.
Yeah.
And the story is still technically going, I guess.
Imagine think about it from a character perspective. Like there could be characters that have aged 60 years over the course of being on screen. You could have had a baby age up to 60 and be on the show. Like a singular character could go from child to senior citizen in real time over the course of this show.
And so I'm looking at the top cast right now. So somehow, like the part in the beginning of the episodes where Josh and I ramble about nothing, has picked up on the end of this episode as well.
I guess
everybody.
so. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna cherry pick 2 characters. Oh, okay. The top 5 characters, the top 5 build people on this show.
Let me see if I know them. All right, let's go.
Okay, so you just want the character names?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 5, Bo Brady.
Oh, yeah, Bo's a classic. Bo was around when I was a kid. Yeah.
He started on the show in 1983. He's still on the show now. He's been 3,500 episodes.
Holy crap. That's amazing.
Right. That's what. Number 4 is Sammy Brady, his sister or wife, I would assume at this point.
He was, when I was a kid, he was with someone named Hope. I think. Anyway, I don't remember who Sammy is.
Oh, okay. So Hope's still on the show too.
Okay, good.
So whoever Sammy Brady is, she is the number 4 most billed actress on the show. She has been 3,600 episodes, but she started 4 years after Bo.
Oh, okay. So pretty kind of the same era though. Is that SAM?
Right. SAMI.
SAMI. I'm going to look up a picture for it, see if I recognize the face.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I do. I recognize the face. Yeah.
All right.
I gotcha.
Number 3, John Black. Started in 1986, still going strong. 4,200 episodes.
John Black and his wife Marlena is going to be the next one in line, probably.
You suck. Number 2 is Hope Brady. I guess that's Bo's wife.
Okay.
She was also started in 1983. She's been in 4,300 episodes. So she's been in 800 more episodes than her husband.
Holy crap.
And the number 1 spot, the number 1 actress, Marlena Evans, Dr. Marlena Evans, started in 76, still on the show now in 5,100 episodes.
I just Googled John Black to remind myself of his face. And I'm shocked at how many people, like you were just saying, like all those people were on the show back when I was watching it as a child. And like, there's even more than that I'm seeing pop up that are still on the show, that were on the show when I was watching it as a child. Like It's crazy. That's the longest running job in Hollywood. This is wild.
Yeah, it must be like, I don't know. It's just absurd to me. These people have had the same job for 40 years as the same character. They probably have no time to do anything else with themselves.
Well,
This is like they wake up and they go film Days of Our Lives.
It's got to be the dream, right? It's steady work in Hollywood. You don't ever get that. like I'm on a show that's been running I've been on it for 30 years. Like that's insane. Like most of the time you might get like, I was on a show that ran for like 2 seasons. It's pretty great. I'm pretty excited. The greatest thing that happened when I was a kid on the show, Marlena got possessed by the devil.
Oh yeah.
And they had to do an exorcism.
Hey, in season 34, you need to switch up some crazy ideas. To wrap up our days of the duel talk, as the cool people call it, and then we can end the episode because this is getting absurd. I want to read you one user review that's on the Days of Our Lives IMDb. This is from Miss Bevy. Josh, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I want you to know that Miss Bevy joined IMDb in February 2006.
Okay.
This review was posted in February 2006.
Okay. So she joined IMDb for this review.
Correct.
Okay.
She had such feelings about Days of Our Lives that she signed up on the internet to write this review. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So in 2006, that would be season like 38 or 37, right? I think it'd be I think it's season 37. So
Okay.
We'll call it even 40, just to be on the safe side. Miss Bevy says, "Is anyone else sick of seeing the same episode every day? It may not actually be the same, but it sure sounds the same. I'm so sick of Belle and Sean mooning over their mistakes. For crying out loud, get on with it. I've watched Days since day one and never have things move so slowly. The reason that the storyline of Mike Horton's paternity was such a hit was because we weren't reminded of it every day. It was always hanging there just waiting for someone to say something. And one more thing, what happened to Marlena? Has she lost her mind as well as her memory? The real Marlena is much too smart to be led around by Alex or John." So she watched Days of...
Go ahead.
So she watched Days of Our Lives for 40 years. Probably started at 20, watched until she was 60. Got so mad, she figured out the internet, figured out how to join IMDb, and shit on Days of Our Lives after 40 years.
We got to see if she's still alive and get her on the show. She sounds great. She sounds like she would have some shit to say about Kamen Rider Geats. Listen, we got to catch you up on 47 episodes, but you're going to love these last 2. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us for the Comment Writers. We'll be back next week. Make sure to check out the podcast. Go to KamenRiderSucks.com for the video version, or subscribe on YouTube or in your favorite podcast platform. Toby, where can the people find you on the internet?
On Twitter, because I'm still not calling it the other name, it's at Life of Tobes, and on YouTube, which is still the same name, it's Tobes Plays.
And I am at Pretty Dece Josh in most places. I don't know, x.com, Threads, wherever you want to search for me, you may or may not find me. I am a mist on the winds of the internet. So that's going to do it for us. We'll be back next week to talk about episode 48, the penultimate episode of Kamen Rider Geats. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Peace.
Thanks for spending the days of your lives with us.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock,